Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Rebecca from the MicroCAD marketing team here. And today we are going to talk about Navisworks Manage. And before we get started, we just have a really quick poll that we want to send out to everybody just to find out if you are currently using Navisworks. If you are, hit yes. If you're not yet using it or you haven't really gotten a chance, you can click on not yet. And once we get some of those answers, then we can go ahead and get started. I think we got a couple going here. Not yet so far. We'll give you a few more seconds to get your answer in here. All right, it seems like so far we have not yet as the answer, which is great. So Douglas can get started and talk about Navisworks Manage. So I will hand it over to you, Douglas.
All right, well, thank you. Well, it's good to have you all here. It's my pleasure. My name is Douglas Bray, and it's my pleasure to show you all what Navisworks and what it can do. So today we'll be going over Navisworks Manage 2021. Again, my name is Douglas Bray. I'm the AEC Technical Manager here at MicroCAD. Now, with respect to Navisworks, there are Autodesk has three versions. There's Navisworks Freedom, which is a free viewer and is able to open up an NWD file as well as a 3D DWF file. You can export those out of AutoCAD as well as Revit and other formats. There's also Navisworks Simulate, which you can do simulation and analysis. And you can also do quantification within Simulate. If you notice, within Simulate, you cannot do coordination and clash detection. So when you're looking at Navisworks Manage, you can't do coordination and clash detection, as well as simulation and analysis and quantification. What is Navisworks? So if you ever hear this term again and it's a conversation that you're hearing next to you, you can say, yeah, I understand what that is. So what it is it is a 3D design review product from Autodesk. It is primarily used in the construction industry. However, we are encouraging architects and engineers to use it during the design phase because it would definitely help alleviate some of the design issues and RFIs that sometimes transfer over to the construction phase of the life cycle of a building. What it also can do is it basically combines 3D models, and you can bring in over 30 file types, like SketchUp, Inventor. You can bring Civil 3D objects in, SolidWorks. You can combine all these into a holistic model, and I'm going to show you that. You can navigate the model in real time. So that means that a person can be making changes and then you can refresh and see those changes while you're still within the model. You can take measurements. You can also include comments and redlining, as well as create different viewpoints. So let's take a look at it. All right. So what you're presently looking at right now, this is an elementary school. And what I like to point out here is if we look at our selection tree, I'm just going to pin that. We have the architectural model, which is this right here. You can see the extension is an NWC. That is, and you can do an export out of Revit and bring in an NWC. And I'll show you how it will display some enriched data. But watch this. Let's say we just wanted to hide the architectural. You can do those types of things within Navisworks. So you can hide that model And then as you see, as I'm selecting different files that are in here, it's highlighting blue within the screen there. Okay, we'll take this and delete that. All right, so let me unhide the architectural. And, let's just do a little small walkabout, so let's see how we can walk through the model. So what I want to do here is I can roll my cursor down here, right to the front door, and put it on the feet, and I can start walking through. So let me increase my speed here just a touch, 13. There we go. So as you can see here, I'm in the main vestibule. One other nice trick that I like to do is within Revit, I export out all of the room names of the building. And so that way, anytime I'm walking in the model, I know exactly where I am. And as you can see here, from a design standpoint, this particular sample elementary school, we can see what the architect had intended to do. So there's going to be a nice little open area here. It has some railings here, and of course we can go through and go. We can walk through. We can walk through here and see all of the different areas that they have. Here we have a nice little corridor there, and this is the gym area. All right. Another thing we can do here is, as we're looking at Navisworks, what I want to show you is, the real powerful part of it is the clash detective. So let me bring this over and let me pin that. Let me just turn this part off. And then let me explain to you what exactly is clash detection, okay? So if we look at our different models here, so we have the architectural model, here is the HVAC, here is the plumbing, and of course we can see we have some others here as well. So what you can do is you can take any of these models and you can pair them up to one another, and then you can run a test to see if there's any interferences. So let's say we take the HVAC system, and as you see, the test I have is HVAC versus plumbing, and we have plumbing selected over here, and we're going to do run test. And so what it does is it finds every instance where HVAC design model geometry has conflicted with plumbing. And when you click on each of these clashes, it takes you right there, a real nice view of each of those clashes. Now, over here, you can either dim other, or you can also do hide other. So you can look at it this way, or you can look at it this way. I like looking at it from a dim other standpoint when it comes to the isolation, because then I can navigate around, see where this clash is, get a better perspective of it, and then we can click here and go true to life and see where this is. So this is, we can see this right here is where that clash is. If I hover over it, we can see that this particular pipe, it is a 8-inch domestic cold water. That's another feature that you can do within Navisworks. And let me show you where that is. So if you go here to the blue end, you go to options. And then if you go here to interface, it's basically called quick definitions. And then here's the definitions that we're looking at. We're looking at the element, and then we're also looking at the element size. Another thing that we can do here is, I really want to show you this. So let's say we wanted to measure, so here we are in an above ceiling aspect, and here's a light, and then here's a duct. we can measure here within Navisworks. So we go here to review, we can do measure, point to point, and then we can lock Z. So I can hover my cursor here and then pick the top of this light fixture and see that it's 1.6 feet between that duct and that light fixture. Another aspect that I like to share with you is, let's say we go here to the to above the ceiling. So with respect to walking through the model, your design team may be, you may have your HVAC doing their thing, and then someone's doing the sanitary. These may be two different trades working, but they're not necessarily working together to make sure that the content that they're placing in isn't conflicting with one another. So you can set all trades down and show them a view like this and say, hey, plumbing and mechanical, need to coordinate better. And then you can walk in here and show them, where their conflicts are. You may say, well, wow, why is everything so gray looking? Well, I have an answer for that. Look at this. So as you see, kind of everything's like kind of black and white and gray. Navisworks also have appearance profiler. And what that is that you can have different search sets within here, and then you can apply colors to different systems. So watch what happens when I hit run. So now, as you see, everything has a distinction. We can see our equipment, which is I have designated as orange. We can see our cable tray, which is like a little hot pink looking. And then we see supply air and return air. So I find that very, very helpful. Another thing that we can do in here is one would say, well, wow, I know you can find clashes. Can you do a report? Well, let me say you do a clash, and how does that look? So let's say we wanted to do a clash with I do like cable tray and plumbing. So let me show you how you add a test. So we're going to do add test, cable tray. Probably did that one. Let's just do another one, cable tray and plumbing. And then what you can do is you can come down here and we can select a search set, which is cable tray versus all of plumbing. So what's significant here is we're picking a set versus a file. Then we can do run test. And then it found 5 instances of where cable tray has conflicted with plumbing. One other nice thing that you can do here is you can select all of those and you can group them together and see them all together all at once. Then you can hide and just see where all your clashes are. What's nice about this is, let's say we wanted to do a comment. We can come over here to review. We can cloud this area. And we can type something in here. Please review. And then we can add that right on over here. Let's do that again. So we do this. And then we're going to do update. Right. Another thing I like to show you is from a visual standpoint, it is real nice you can look at the model in different ways. And so let me show you some of the power of the Viewpoint. So you can pop yourself, let me turn this off so you can see everything. You can teleport yourself to anywhere within the building. So we can go to the entryway. You can look at the building from a cut section standpoint. We can also go to the second floor. We can measure. We can look above the ceiling anywhere. And let's say we're somewhere within the building. We can also engage this plan view. So if you notice here, if I expand this a little bit more, if you notice here, you see the arrow in which it tells me exactly where I am within the building. So if I'm moving here in the hallway and navigating around, you can see that I'm backing up this way on the screen. So if I'm looking at the whole entire building, I can at least be aware of where I am. I can also grab myself and teleport myself over here to the gym. And then lastly, what I wanted to point out is you can also look at the floor plan views. So watch this. If I double click here, now I'm looking at the sheets that came directly out of Revit in Navisworks. To me, I think that is just very, very, very compelling. So at any point, if I wanted to look at this particular unit, I can click here, find item in other models, click here and say view. It teleports me right where that unit is within the model. I think that's very, very compelling to have this feature. Okay, any questions? Any questions?
Yes, Douglas, we're actually getting a question here about how to get some more training on Navisworks Manage. If you can give us a little more information about that, maybe at the end of this.
Of course. So great question. We do offer a Navisworks in a BIM workflow class. I'm glad that you asked that question, Rebecca. It is a great class, and what we do, we go over the workflow between Revit and Navisworks, how you can use the software, how you're able to make changes and collaborate with, with your other constituents, and see how the software can help reduce RFIs, conflicts that may come up during the design phase as well as doing pre-construction. So please, reach out to me. You see my email down there. Reach out to me if you're interested in taking, our Navisworks in a BIM workflow. Trust me, it will be a very, very great class to help you use the software. You saw how easy it is to use, and now I look forward to showing you all how to use it. I also failed to mention you can do quantity. You can do quantification within Navisworks. That's another great feature that you can do within there as well. Are there any other questions? Any other questions?
Just taking a look here at the questions panel. If you guys do have any, you can feel free to throw them in there or in the chat if you can't find the questions section. But we'll give you guys another second if you do have any. And if you think of anything afterwards, you could definitely email Douglas or myself and we can help you out there. But we will leave it open for any questions for maybe another minute, and then we can wrap this up.
So with respect to the quantification, I do want to show, I'm going to show that, but I also like to, I want to show this as well. So Another real nice feature, I did show it in the beginning, but you can enable sectioning. And what's nice about this is I can align to surface. So let's say I wanted to cut the view right here. So now I can look at this particular model this way, so I can stretch this out. And if I'm trying to determine how much room I have somewhere, or if I'm trying to look at something along this area, I can have my cut section move around and just see as much as I want to see. If I choose to have it on a different surface, I can say align to surface. Now I can look at it from the floor standpoint and bring it up this way. Most of the times when we're doing coordination from a pre-construction standpoint, we're looking at the model this way, wherein we can see above the ceiling and a lot of different areas where we can see where ductwork is going and where we're intending to go, and if we have any kind of conflicts or potential. If you notice in this particular model, I don't have any of the I didn't have any structural content for this particular example. As I mentioned, from a quantification standpoint, we can turn on that. That is down here. And I did do a quantification takeoff of the model. And as you can see here in this quantification workbook, it's given me a count of my outlet, duplex, single. I have 12 of them within the model, at least on level 1. With respect to light fixtures, I can see how many 2x4, 2-lamp troffer light fixtures. Okay, again, 2x4 parabolic, and there's 124 of those within the model. So, like I said, it's very, very useful to see that type of information as you're going through looking for conflicts and thinking of the end goal in mind when it comes to, is this constructible and can this be done? Any questions?
I'm not seeing any come in, but I guess if there are any, they could definitely be emailed over. So I think we are good. Thank you, Douglas, for going over Navisworks Manage and everything that it can do. So I think we can go ahead and close there and thank everyone for joining. Have a great rest of the day and a great Thursday.
Thank you as well.